welcome to the deep dive. Today, you're joining us as we get into something, well, pretty special. The 2025 Ducati Panigale V4 Lamborghini. This isn't just any superbike, is it? It's a limited edition machine, a real fusion of Ducati and Lamborghini.
Exactly. And it's actually the third time they've teamed up, these two Italian icons.
Okay.
What's really interesting this time, though, is the direct inspiration. The Lamborghini Revolto ad personam.
Ad personam. That sounds bespoke, like really high-end customization.
That's precisely it. It's Lamborghini's program for, tailoring cars right down to the smallest detail. And now that philosophy is hitting two wheels.
And you mentioned limited edition. How limited are we talking?
Very. Only 630 units worldwide. But get this. There's an even more exclusive series called Speciale Clienti. Just 63 of those.
63. Wait, that rings a bell. Lamborghini's founding year, 1963.
You got it. A direct nod. It just adds another layer of collectability, makes it more than just a bike. It's almost like art.
Wow. Okay. So Ducati's basically taken their top-tier Panigale V4S and just wrapped it in Lamborghini design?
Well, it's more than just a wrap. They've really tried to infuse the Lamborghini spirit, the design language, into it. Our source for today, a detailed article, really digs into how they pulled off this $100,000 motorcycle.
$100,000. Okay. So our mission today, dig into the specs, the looks, figure out what makes this thing tick, how it connects to the car world, and what kind of experience it actually offers.
Sounds like a plan.
Right. Let's start with that fusion. Ducati and Lamborghini. Why is this team up such a big deal?
Well, like you said, it's not their first rodeo. There's a history there, a shared Italian focus on, performance, cutting-edge design.
Right.
This third chapter feels like it's going deeper, blurring the lines between, high-end bikes and hypercars.
And that Revolto ad personam link.
Right.
It's more than just paint, then. It's about a shared philosophy, maybe personalization across different kinds of vehicles.
I think so, yeah. It feels like they're saying, love that bespoke Lamborghini feel.
Yeah.
You can get that same level of exclusivity here on two wheels. It's a fascinating approach.
Okay, let's get to the core, the engine. What's powering this beast?
It's Ducati's well-known Desmosedici Stradale engine, a V4 1103cc.
And the numbers, I assume they're impressive.
Oh, yeah. 209 horsepower, kicks in way up at 12,750 RPM.
Phew.
And torque is 89.5 pound-feet at 11,250 RPM.
So serious superbike territory. Those numbers mean blistering speed, right? Racetrack kind of power.
Absolutely. On paper, it's huge. Translates to, that explosive acceleration, that top-end rush. But you raised a good point earlier. How much of that can you actually use day to day?
Exactly. It's not just the peak power. It's how it feels, the components supporting it.
Precisely. And they've used a ton of carbon fiber.
Right. I saw that.
For weight saving, obviously, but
also for the look. That visible twill weave, it just screams exotic material. It looks fantastic.
And what about the clutch? I read something about a dry clutch. Yeah, dry clutch. That's more of a racing thing usually. Gives you much more direct feel, better control, especially when braking hard or downshifting aggressively.
Okay.
And then there's the exhaust in Acropovi silencer. Yeah. Saves a bit more weight, maybe adds a tiny bit of power, but mostly
the sound.
Exactly, that deep, throaty sound you expect. And crucially, it's street legal.
All that carbon fiber, the lightweight part, it must make a difference to the overall weight. What's the final figure?
The article mentioned a wet weight, so with fluids of just 408 pounds or 185 kilos.
408 pounds. For a bike with over 200 horsepower, that's incredibly light.
It really is, and that low weight is huge for handling.
Yeah.
It's super agile, quick to turn in, responsive.
So quicker acceleration, sharper cornering, just a more intense ride.
Definitely more engaging, maybe more demanding too. That power to weight ratio is pretty extreme. It should feel incredibly alive.
Okay, power, agility, checked. Now, the looks, this is where the Lamborghini connection really hits, right? The special livery, the carbon fiber, what makes it pop?
The livery is pure Lamborghini styling. And that carbon fiber twill weave isn't just functional, it's a key part of the aesthetic statement. Shows off the materials. But look closely at the tail section. The winglets. They've redesigned them. They really echo the sharp, angular lines of Lamborghini's cars, like the Revolto. They're functional for aero, sure, but the styling is very deliberate.
And the wheels, too. I read they're directly inspired by the car.
Absolutely. Forged aluminum wheels, and the design mirrors the ones on the Revolto ad personam directly. It's a really strong visual tie-in.
Can't miss that connection.
And then the colors, that Verde Estrella green, the Arancio deck orange accents, those are signature Lamborghini colors, instantly recognizable.
It's like they literally borrowed Lamborghini's paint codes. Even the headlights, the wings, they feel very supercarish.
They do. The sharp LEDs give it that aggressive face. And the wings aren't just for show. They generate real downforce at speed, just like on Lambo's track machines. They look the part, too.
And even the dashboard.
Yeah. Even the digital display has custom graphics, a custom theme reflecting the Lamborghini link. It's a constant reminder for the rider.
Total immersion, then. Okay, let's talk exclusivity again. Beyond just the limited numbers, what else makes owning this special?
Well, each bike gets a numbered certificate of authenticity. Straight away, that tells you it's a collector's item, not just transport.
Right.
And how it arrives in a custom wooden crate with its own dedicated racing stand inside, graphics and all. That whole unboxing experience must be pretty unique. It's like acquiring, a piece of history.
And for North American buyers, there's a little something extra.
That's right. Here in North America, they're including a limited edition helmet and a matching jacket, all in the bike's color scheme. So you get the whole look.
Nice touch. But that Speciale Clienti version, that sounds like next-level personalization.
Oh, it absolutely is. If you already own a Lamborghini, you can work directly with Ducati's own design center, the Centro-style Ducati. And you can customize the bike's colors to perfectly match your car. Not just the paint, but like the seat, the brake calipers, logos, wheels, even the windshield tint.
So a true one-of-one motorcycle to go with your one-of-a-kind car.
Essentially, yeah. It's creating a perfectly paired set. That's a level of bespoke service you usually only see in the four-wheeled hypercar world.
Incredible. Okay, underneath all this style and exclusivity, there's still a cutting-edge Ducati Panigale. Let's talk tech in the ride itself. What electronics are we looking at?
The full suite, pretty much. Top-level Ducati tech, you've got ABS cornering EVO.
So ABS that works even when leaned over?
Exactly. Huge safety benefit mid-corner. Then there's Ducati traction control EVO 3, wheelie control EVO, slide control, and a really good quick shifter for clutchless up and down shifts.
So lots of safety nets, but also performance enhancers, allowing you to use more of that power, maybe?
Yeah, they help manage the power and give the rider more confidence to explore what the bike can actually do. It's about safety and performance.
And suspension. Brakes. I assume they didn't skimp there.
Definitely not. Full Erlen setup. NPX pressurized fork up front, TTX shock at the back. Both fully adjustable, obviously. Top shelf stuff for handling and feedback.
Okay.
And braking is all Brembo. Massive 330-millimeter discs up front with their best Stylema calipers. Race-spec stopping power, basically. Plus a 245-millimeter disc at the rear. Huge stopping power. Really good feel.
So the hardware absolutely backs up the looks and the price tag. It's not just a paint job.
Not at all. It's a genuine top-spec performance machine underneath.
Okay, so for the enthusiasts dreaming about this, what are the big advantages? What makes it so desirable beyond just looking cool?
Well, number one is just the raw speed and the incredibly sharp handling. That engine combined with the low weight, it promises a really thrilling, visceral ride. Plus, you get that race bike feel from the dry clutch and the quick shifter. Very direct, very engaging.
And yeah, riding something that looked like a Lamborghini on two wheels.
Yeah.
The visual impact has got to be huge.
Undeniably. The exclusivity, the design itself, is a massive part of the appeal. And you've still got all those advanced safety features, the electronics, the brakes.
Right.
And let's be honest, for some buyers, the investment potential and collector value are definitely part of the equation too. It's so limited, so desirable.
It really seems to hit a lot of high notes for a certain type of rider. But let's ground ourselves a bit. What are the downsides, the considerations, before someone takes out a second mortgage for this?
Yeah, good point. First off, that riding position. It's aggressive, built for the track, really. Not going to be comfortable for long rides or, just cruising around town. Wrists, back, you'll feel it.
Okay, so comfort's not the priority. What else?
Engine heat. That big V4 puts out a lot of power, and power means heat. Stuck in traffic on a summer day, it could get uncomfortable down there.
I can imagine. And then there's the price. We mentioned it around $100,000.
Yeah, exactly. It's firmly in luxury territory. It's a massive investment, not a casual purchase.
So practicality is basically zero, not for commuting or touring.
Pretty much no. And you have to think about insurance costs, maintenance. Exotic parts mean exotic bills, usually. High running costs are likely.
So it demands commitment, both financially and physically, perhaps. It's more than just buying a fast bike.
Absolutely. You need to know what you're getting into. It's a statement piece as much as it is a motorcycle.
Okay, as we wrap this up, what are the main things we should take away from this deep dive into the Panigale V4 Lamborghini?
I think the biggest thing is how uniquely it sits at the crossroads of like elite motorcycle engineering and pure luxury automotive design. It's not just a Ducati with Lamborghini paint.
Right.
It feels like a genuine blend, embodying the spirit of both brands. It shows what happens when these two Italian powerhouses really collaborate closely.
It really is like rolling art that just happens to be incredibly fast. I liked how our source put it. They infused the soul of Lamborghini into a high-performance superbike.
Yeah, that nails it. They've successfully merged the strengths, the design cues of both.
Yeah.
It's unmistakably Ducati in performance, but undeniably Lamborghini in its style and, well, its presence.
So there you have it. An incredible machine, exclusive, powerful, dripping with that Lamborghini style, packed with tech, a very rare beast.
Indeed.
And that leads us to a final thought. We're seeing more of these kinds of high-end collaborations, aren't we, between different performance industries? What other maybe unexpected fusions of engineering and design could we see down the road? And, what's really driving this desire for these ultimate, super limited, boundary-blurring experiences? Something to think about.
Definitely something to ponder.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.